Alright, it's your boy, the Chess Goat. I'm here with another video. In today's video, we'll be going over a few puzzles that I think majority of the people should be able to solve, especially if you're over 1200 to 1000. You should be able to solve it. But let's go ahead and start the video. Alright, in our first puzzle, black goes bishop b4. I'm gonna give you a few seconds to look at the puzzle on white's perspective. Yes, if you went queen to a4, checking the king, that is right, because you take the bishop, the knight that's protecting the bishop on b4, and then you go ahead and take the free bishop. Simple puzzle to start with, and that's a good opening. All right, let's look at the second puzzle. All right, and this puzzle is black to play. As you can see, white is one move from being checkmated. So let's see what you come up with. Give you a few seconds. If you went queen to a3, taking the bishop, you will get checkmated. So that is not the answer. So let's go ahead and go back so I understand that you understand what's going on. If you went queen to b6, checking the king, forcing him to go to the corner, another check with the knight, forcing him to come back, and then a double check with the knight and the queen, forcing him to go back to the corner, and then sacrificing your queen on g1. He has to take with the rook, and then the known smother mate with the knight. Yes, that is the answer. Then that is checkmate. If you got that, that is correct. Good job. Let's go to puzzle 3. All right, puzzle 3. We have here white to play. Give you a few seconds. If you went queen takes f7, you are right. The rook is forced to take, and as you can see, that bishop is pinning the rook, so you could go rook to e8, checkmate the king in one move. That is a nice puzzle, and if you got that, you should be over 1200 graded. All right, so we have another puzzle, white to play. What are we thinking? Give you a few seconds to look at it. All right, so if you went queen to f7, you are correct. Queen takes f7. Check, the king is forced to the corner. There's two ways you can do this. But for style points, you have to sack the queen. He has to take with the rook. And now it is forced mate in 2, sack a rook, and then now it is mate in 1. Good job if you got that. That is checkmate on the board. The king has to fall. Nice puzzle. Like a mate in 3, mate in 4 sequence. Alright, so we have another one. White to play. Give you a few seconds. If you went queen takes h6, you are correct. The pawn has to take, and this is the ladder mate. They call us the ladder mate. The king cannot move nowhere. That is checkmate. Let's go ahead and go back, because there's two ways you could have did it. Two ways you could have checkmate the king. And if you sacrifice the rook, you are also correct. And you could go ahead and take with the queen. The bishop is covering g8, and the king is stuck in the corner, and that is checkmate. Good job if you got that. You should be over at least 1100, 1200 if you got this one. Now this is probably the hardest puzzle out of all the puzzles. And I say this because it's you have to think a little bit, just a little bit. I'll give you a few seconds to see what you come up with. If you went rook to a1, You're correct. Now you gotta follow up with rook to a8. The king is forced to c7. You check the king again. The king is forced down, and you go ahead and take the free rook. Good job. If you got that, you should be over at least 1200, 1300 if you're able to solve that puzzle. Now the last puzzle is just a simple checkmating with the rook and the bishop. Let's go ahead and see if anybody can solve this one. Yes, check, check, and then mating one.